But first, President Biden is expected to make an announcement Wednesday about student federal loan forgiveness. The plan under consideration by White House officials would cancel up to $10,000 in student loans for people with annual income of less than $125,000. Those who earn above that threshold would not qualify for forgiveness. The decision could affect about 45 million borrowers nationwide. For more, let's bring in CBS News political contributor Zeke Miller. He is a White House reporter for the Associated Press. All right, Zeke, this is all coming in really just moments ago. What are we expecting to hear from the White House on Wednesday?
We're expecting to hear from the president that he's intending to fulfill most of his 2020 campaign pledge that he issued a little more than 2 years ago, April 2020, when he pledged to forgive that $10,000 in federal student loan debt for all Americans. This plan is narrower with that income cap that you just alluded to, those for borrowers with incomes below $125,000. He's also going to extend the existing repayment pause that's been in effect for more than a year now. As the pandemic has carried through, that will affect all federal borrowers. So if you currently have a federal student loan, you don't have to make payments. That will continue until January. But there are a lot of fine print details here that we're still working on getting an answer to from the White House. But those are the top lines. It's that $10,000 figure cancellation for people with incomes below $125,000.
Got it. Well, this is going to cost a lot of money. So according to the Penn Wharton budget model, forgiving $10,000 in student debt could cost $300 billion just in the first year alone. So what's the White House's plan to bear this huge economic impact?
That's one of the arguments we haven't yet to hear from hear made by the White House. This is something that they've sort of worked into some of their budget projections going forward, but we haven't seen a lot of the paperwork there in terms of how this is going to be implemented. That price tag is roughly the savings to the federal budget that was included in the so-called Inflation Reduction Act that the Democrats' only social health care and climate change spending bill that was the president signed into law just a week or so ago now. It could have a net, with taken together with that legislation, it could be sort of a net zero on the federal deficit. But certainly it's a significant expense. This is going to be a political headache too, not just a fiscal headache for the president, because even though he's doing this thing that he pledged to do during the campaign, it's not going to make anyone happy, because progressive activists have been pressing Biden to do a lot more, go up to $50,000 or more in cancellation, and then there are folks who have paid off their loans or who have, or maybe still in school or haven't gone to school yet, who this wouldn't apply to. So the president had to do this in order to satisfy his base, but even there's not a whole lot of people who are walking away from this feeling great.
That's right. I mean, if you or I, borrowed over the last 10 or 20 years, and we just paid them off last year, we're like, wait, now you're going to forgive all these other people, and then we just paid them off. So I wonder if the political reaction to this, midterms are around the corner. What do you think these could look like?
This is something that has been, if you look at a lot of the polling on this, young voters care a lot about this issue. It's not their most important issue that they say motivates them to go to the polls, but it's one that they care a lot about. That's a segment of the population that Democrats need to turn out in droves in order to boost their midterm election chances. Younger voters tend to vote more Democratic, so this can be a boon there. But it can also there's also some risks in terms of folks who are older, who have paid off those loans, or have kids in school who aren't quite eligible for this sort of student loan forgiveness. At the end of the day, though, for President Biden, the math was as simple as he promised in the campaign to do this, and he hadn't done it yet, and he had to get this done before the midterms. They tried to make this as politically palatable as possible, which is what that income cap comes into, because then it limits money from maybe taxpayers who didn't go to college being used to help folks who took out loans who are making more than $125,000. That it eliminates some of the political liability for the White House. But as much as this is the president fulfilling on a promise, and some people will benefit from this, and there are others who will certainly be looking at their pocketbooks and saying, "What did I get out of this?" So for the White House, it really is kind of a no-win situation here.
Right. Well, politics 101. All right, Zeke Miller, thank you for getting on so quickly.
Thank you.